very much for coming here today. It's really great to see so many people here. You've got a memory stick, a map, and a packed lunch and a coffee. So you should be set now for a day of mobile conferencing. Mobile conference is actually a partnership between Peckham Space and the South London Gallery's Making Play project. We're going to be referring to a project that happened last year called Peckham TV.
As an artist, I kind of work with video and performance, and a lot of the work has been kind of exploring issues of kind of identity and representation.
And what was the public's initial perception of an artist, and did that change throughout their work on the project?
Bizarrely enough, I find often it's anti-productive to kind of like identify myself as the artist.
Are artists the new agony aunts or uncles in socially engaged practice?
Add to the agony aunt uncle social work.
I mean, that kind of sets up a very particular sort of dynamic that's makes me quite uneasy, you know, in terms of like the kind of sort of artist role. I guess it sets up a kind of slightly different hierarchical kind of, you know, relationship.
Was there a sense of ownership in the work? And whose was it? Was it yours? Was it the public's? Was it Peckham's?
Through the process, in a way, slightly relinquished control of the outcome. Sort of more kind of sort of workshop kind of conversations where we were sort of asking kind of groups and individuals to kind of sort of come up with ideas, generate ideas for this kind of Peckham advert.
You said that one of the things you would like to have done would be the people who generated some of the ideas for the ad. Was that to be more embedded in the process?
Yeah, well, in the production of the eventual advert.
The artwork, from my perspective, and I think from the artist's perspective, was actually the live event, the voting on what could be, the imagining what could be.
Does it change their ideas about Peckham?
That position, sort of media perception of, you know, sort of, you know, knife crime gangs, kind of, you know, and there wasn't really a kind of sense of a kind of sort of balance, really.
So the artist, you say, like, brings these skills, but it's not just that, it's that the community then bring their understanding of a particular place, or where they live, or what they're doing, or the environment that they're in. And it's an equal collaboration where both parties can learn from the other one.
You know, otherwise it just becomes you sort of telling people, or sort of, you know, educating them.
I just wondered how the work that you were doing fed into where you might be now in terms of the building about to open. Is there any relationship between that, or was there other processes?
People speak. One of you say something more about it? Is it an artist group, or is it a... And how did they come to be involved in the project?
To what extent the process was different because you had, you know, kids taking part rather than grown-ups?
How does it affect how Demos, or you from Demos, might think about democracy acting outside the institution?
Actually, I'd say an artist does work with society. An artist works with response. That's an art, you know, that's political in a small p sense.
Take a placard and you're going to be guided round to the next venue.
You've come from Peckham Space and you've now have entered So Gardens Estate. This is a place where the South London Gallery has been working over the past year on a project called Making Play.
My proposal on coming and joining this project was to create a walk-in map of play on the estate, looking at how children play and extending their play in various ways through workshops. And the shot behind you is the sort of result of 6 months' worth of workshops and the children's work. Well, I've been really welcomed onto this estate and welcomed by the children and their families and all the residents on the estate. And there does seem to be a very active and lively playing out culture. They also overwhelmingly said that they prefer to play outside rather than inside.
Well, I came to the Saturday Club nearly every Saturday. We just always done all sorts of art and all different kinds of things. When we go on trips and we do activities, we don't just stay in the shop. We actually explore the whole estate and we can discover where new spaces to play. I helped them build the flower boxes. We also made a tree house to do with the Saturday Club. Some signs that we had, like, all trees shall be climbed, and people who come and watch, they're hanging out and playing board games.
Has this project changed things in the way that you feel your children can use the spaces here?
This project started, I've hung around on the estate a lot more. Before, when we go out to play, we go off the estate and used to play in the area around here. So I've noticed that we spend a lot more time on the estate and getting to know the people around us.
It has brought parents to talk to each other, something that was not happening that much before.
Yes, it's made a big difference, and also probably opened up the way to go to the gallery, because obviously it's the gallery that's running the project, so it's less intimidating to go into that gallery now.
Has this project changed how you play on the estate and where you play and who you play with?
This project has got most kids to kind of meet new other kids that they haven't really played before, and get to know them more, and kind of build up your confidence.
When we have to work in teams like making cakes with little ones, you have to know their names, you have to show them how we can help them.
I want to know what your relationship was to the aesthetic nature of the project you're doing.
This is the children's work, this is what they've created. There's, if you go into the shop, which I hope you'll all have a chance to do in a moment and explore it, there's a domestic play wall on your left, which is a shelf for every floor of the estate. There's a public play wall, which is an annotated map of the estate. There's a performance space at the back, and there's a set of pie charts that show the results of the play survey that we carried out at the start of the project. So I think I feel that it is a work, but it's an evolving work.
To this part of Mobile Conference.
We want to really hear what you've got to say. Oh, we've got someone over here. Let's
How do you feel about the money is currently an issue? We've been sort of stuck with a quite unfortunate, misty-eyed idea about public space always being good.
Somewhere like So Gardens, it is another form of global space. It's not just local in that sense.
And it's a question that plays out in policy making too, about the so-called instrumentalisation of the arts. Is this what the arts are for?
Sometimes I think it's a shame we don't talk about the history of these debates. Re-institutionalising a neighbourhood. Am I the only one who thinks that sounds awful?
It's building up the capacity to act collectively in neighbourhoods, which in many cases is gone.
One of the reasons why so many artists are engaging in kind of community projects now is because it's an income stream. It's one of the few ways in which artists can earn money.
The art schools are sort of churning out endless graduates who have sort of non-traditional based, maybe sort of conceptual based practice, and we can just parachute all these guys into sort of our inner cities and sort of get them to work some magic. It might be good for the community. Is it necessarily good for art?
To me, it depends on the project entirely.
I guess really it's about whether art can actually do something more than cosmetic when it comes to social change.
Kind of transformational experiences in people's lives, including children's lives. And again, I thought we see that pretty clearly this afternoon.
So what I want you to do is just gather around a laptop, maybe a group at the front, one at the back here, and one to one side.
Today we talked a lot about artist practice.
Yeah, that is.
You talked
about
changing communities, or is it about making good art?
It's all the hierarchy that's above it, allowing the children and the people who are involved to lead.
To stir up people's creativity.
Not necessarily determining whether it's good or bad art.
This project's always been part of education itself. Is they being at all meaningful? Or going
So Gardens Estate, everybody thinks of it as local, and actually it's an international.
What the perspective is from.
It's not an unusual thing.
We work in a social context. It's an artist.
Our style.
Me.